This is probably why Reddit doesn't want to view itself as a social channel, because brands on social get flamed. And you see
Hmm.
this right on Instagram. Like if a brand tries to contribute to the conversation in Instagram, they just get like annihilated right out of the gate from all angles. So the repositioning is probably helpful there. I am curious though, Evan. It feels like you're pushing really hard in the organic, which is surprising, but not in a bad way. I think it's kind of cool. I'm curious why the push isn't towards paid ads. Like Reddit needs to monetize, right? And yet your soapbox is mostly like, hey, go in, contribute, provide value. Why aren't you selling us on buy traffic?
In all these cases, it can be ads, right? All of these instances I'm describing, like being there where there's a purchase decision, being contextually relevant, finding communities that are talking about your products and services, all of those are setups to be able to place an ad. And at its best, I think our ads do function much like the rest of the content on Reddit. We have a placement, for example, called the conversation placement, which you can keyword target right into these conversations where somebody might be talking about your service. Maybe someone's making a B2B software decision and they're discussing the best AI, CRM, etc. We have the ability to find that discussion and put your company there and drive traffic from that discussion.
Yeah, so I've been while we're talking, I'm just sitting here scrolling around Reddit and jumping into various subreddits. It does feel like all of the paid placement is in line. So, there's every now and again, maybe an ad off in the margin, but for the most part, I'm scrolling through and looking at people's comments and responses, and the ads are difficult to distinguish between, what's paid and what's organic, which I think could be pretty helpful for an advertiser because, like you're saying, you just get to sneak right into the conversation. With that in mind, what works best? Like if you were to give us best practices, let's say a listener's like, you know what, I want to give Evan a shot. I believe what he's saying. How do I go in there and like, what is it? If you've got the 7 ways or the 6 things, I imagine there's got to be an SOP as to how to give this a first attempt.
Yeah, the first thing is, play around on Reddit like you're doing. I think, some folks have played on Reddit, some folks like Ralph may have not. I think you can figure out how the site works pretty quickly. So I'd start there by downloading the app and starting to use it. The second thing, I would use our community search to see where your topic, your brand, your category is being discussed across Reddit.
And
That's going
are
to,
you allowed to advertise in any Reddit community, or is it like YouTube where some have monetization enabled and some don't?
some have monetization and some don't.
Okay. And how do you know which is which?
You'll see what's available in the ads manager platform.
Got it. And so I've tried to log into the ads manager and it wanted me to jump it through some hoops. Is there a way to see the ad manager delineation the way that Facebook makes theirs available, or do you have to register as an advertiser first?
I think you have to sign up as an advertiser.
Okay. Cool. So you go into Reddit, you see what communities are available that have monetization enabled, learn the platform. And then from an ad perspective, like we know what to say with things like Facebook and Instagram because it's top of funnel and a lot of that is basically info marketing. Is it the same thing more or less in Reddit, or what do you see work for other advertisers?
When it comes to creative, I have a belief that great creative is great creative. I know there's another school of thought that every platform is different and it has to be super nuanced. And we do have creative best practices. There are ways to use some of the language of Reddit. There are ways to just look more organic, for example, in the conversation placement. But when it comes to actual copy, when it comes to images, when it comes to formats, I think great creative is great creative. And if you have something that's working on other platforms, I would give that creative a shot on Reddit.
So how would that transition over? Most like if something's video based or carousel based, Reddit seems to be almost exclusively text based on my 9 seconds of browsing
Based
here.
on
So
your,
A, correct me if I'm wrong, and then B, let me know how you would
yeah, we
translate
have
those.
different formats. We have
Okay.
different formats. So I think what you're looking at is our conversation placement.
Right.
But we can accept just about any storytelling format that you might be using.
Does that break continuity if I start using videos when people are used to Reddit being more message threads?
I think it depends on the content and targeting. There's plenty of video being shared on Reddit. I don't think it is just a text-based platform. Depends on your goals and your objective, but there are plenty of videos and images on Reddit. For a keyword targeted campaign with a lower funnel objective, that's where like a conversation placement is going to be really effective. But let's say you're launching a new software product and you're trying to generate awareness. In that instance, you're probably going to be using perhaps video. Maybe you're targeting a broad set of communities based on what our community search is recommending, saying, hey, these are the communities where your topic or your product or your service is being discussed. So advertisers will take those, they'll build out a campaign and they'll target those, for example, for a product launch.
Got it. And as I'm scrolling through here, I see Google Cloud is advertising, Apple's advertising, and a lot of it feels very. It reminds me of like the Google Display Network and the way that they're currently utilizing specifically the feed and the ads in the feed. Can you segment or target people demographically or psychographically? Are there interest-based segmentations, or is it just community segmentation?
No, there are ways to segment by interests. We also have advertisers who create their own custom audiences and bring them over to Reddit. You mentioned you had run a retargeting campaign, I believe.
Yeah, so you can create custom audiences based off of, and I know this because we've used Reddit for this purpose. We targeted everybody who landed on our challenge page but didn't convert,
Yeah.
and we were able to use the Reddit pixel in that way. Um, I have no idea how well it worked, to be honest with you, because we were just running as much traffic as we possibly could everywhere. What does the cost of Reddit traffic look like compared to other ad networks?
Depends on the category. I think there's some categories where, gosh, Reddit is a massive value. If I can't break down the numbers, but I know that there are some categories, and especially during the holidays, like the holidays are a good example too, where you see certain, CPA spike in different areas of the internet. I think Reddit is a great place to look to diversify a bit, break away from your competition.
Mm.
I can't break out the numbers, but given the depth and breadth of Reddit communities, I think there are some value nuggets out there that advertisers just haven't found yet.
And is it CPM based, CPC?
Yes, you can buy on a CPM, you can buy for awareness, you can buy on traffic, CPC.
And what about conversion tracking and attribution?
We have conversion tracking. We have advertisers who buy for max conversion. So we have a lot of advertisers running with lower funnel objectives on the site.
And any opportunity, or maybe this is on the horizon, but for in-app purchases, the way that and I'm gonna use a dirty word, Evan, but the way that other social networks are, trying to build more continuity within the application. Is there anything rolling out in Reddit that would allow advertisers to have, if not a purchase, but like a Facebook lead form or a Google lead form, or
Yeah, we're building in this area. Don't have something I can announce here, but we're definitely building in this area. We know that so many different people discover apps on Reddit. And we know that many of those owners of those apps want to reach Reddit users once they've downloaded the app as well.